But what really is 1 second? In the blink of an eye, 2 people have died. You just snapped your fingers, 4 people have just been born. Or let's say you just smiled, someone has already made $2,000. Maybe you haven't even thought of something yet, but more than 5,000 stars have been created in our universe. Let's say you just sighed, more than 15 million tons of water have rained down on Earth. 13.7 billion years ago, 1 second was enough for this universe to be created. It started to expand, then cooled down, what we call the Big Bang. Then gravity was created, followed by elementary particles. If not for this, you wouldn't be watching this video. So everything started with just 1 second. Maybe you've seen it all on YouTube, or you've already searched for it on Google to know what happens every second according to everything existing in the universe, where you and I are blessed to coexist. But while I was conducting research and giving you some examples at the beginning of this video, there are some things that left me curious. For example, who collects all this information we all search for? How can someone know what happens in the entire universe and then understand it all in the short time we've existed within it? These questions wouldn't leave me alone, so here's what I found. Now let's start with the number of people who die every second. What you need to know is that 2/3 of the people who die every year aren't recorded, because there's no data related to the reason for their deaths. This means no one knows the actual number of people who die every year. But when you go to Google, it'll show you that 2 people die every second. Now the question is, where do they get this information that they feed the servers? That's still a question without an answer. The issue doesn't end there. How many of us are really on Earth? Because according to data collected in the year 2011, they announced that we had reached a population of 7 billion people. Then in 2020, they announced that we had reached 7,800,000,000 people. But how accurate is this? Let me give you an example of Nigeria, the nation we all know that's located in Central Africa. It's known as the country with the highest population on the African continent. According to statistics from the year 2020, it shows that Nigeria had a population close to 206 million people. But what you need to know is that the last population census in this country was carried out in the year 2006. Experts and research specialists show that even this information that was submitted might be wrong. Because according to corruption and embezzlement of funds, it shows that it's possible for this information to be just a guess. So, there's no valid proof that the information on Wikipedia is actually true. Now imagine, we've just talked about one country as an example. What if the same mistakes are also made in other countries? And then here's what I found out when I was doing my research. What you need to know is that India and China are competing for who has the larger population on Earth. According to collected and analyzed data, it shows that China is still in first place, holding the crown. But the gap is very minimal, with India trailing China by only 50 million people. According to various demographers like Fuxin Yi from the University of Wisconsin, India is argued to be already far ahead of China, surpassing it with over 90 million people. However, the data contradicts this assertion. It's worth noting that we haven't discussed small countries where population estimates may not be accurate. For instance, in North Macedonia, data collected in 2020 suggests a population of less than 1.5 million people, but the census carried out in 2018 indicates a population surpassing 2 million. This raises the question, how many people are exactly living on this planet? It's doubtful if we will ever know the truth in this matter. Moving on to the profits of big companies, let's consider Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, who is reported to make around $2,500 per second. This means, for every passing second, he has already earned more than 1,900 pounds or 2,300 euros. For many, it takes around a week or two to earn this much, especially in developed countries like the USA or Canada, where individuals may earn at least $5,000 per month. However, in underdeveloped countries like those in Africa and South America, it could take a year or even more to make $2,500. As for Apple, it's estimated to earn around $2,000 per second. I understand that these figures may leave you amazed, but how are they calculated? Forbes magazine publishes the list of the richest people in the world every year, including their annual earnings. However, billionaires do not publicly disclose their budgets or how they earn money, so the information is often estimated. Publishers or those who release this information analyze assets or physical wealth, including those owned by the company. They conduct interviews, investigations, and research, along with analyzing data from competing companies to estimate a billionaire's earnings or net worth. Therefore, the available information may not always be accurate. Even determining the rate of star formation in our galaxy poses challenges. There's a value called the star formation rate, which in our galaxy is approximately 3 solar masses per year. To put it simply, gases, clouds, and dust accumulate to form stars each year in our galaxy, totaling masses equivalent to 3 suns. However, it's important to note that there are stars larger than our sun, such as Ui Scuti, as well as smaller stars. What scientists did was to calculate the average number by adding the masses and sizes of most stars, concluding that approximately 3 stars are created every year in our galaxy. Then, scientists estimated that the observable universe likely contains more than 50 billion galaxies. By multiplying the number of galaxies in the universe by the number of stars created in just our galaxy, we can estimate the total number of stars created in other galaxies in the observable universe, amounting to around 150 billion stars. This means that approximately 400 million stars are created every day, or 4,800 stars per second. However, 2 things confuse me. Firstly, is there really only 50 billion galaxies in the observable universe? According to an international team of astronomers, the observable universe may actually contain more than 2 trillion galaxies. Secondly, if we accept the estimate of 2 trillion galaxies, what about the other parts of the observable universe that we cannot see? The term observable universe refers to the area that we can see up to, because the light we use to observe distant places stops there. Our telescopes, along with all current technology relying on the speed of light, can't see beyond that point. So, beyond that, there are other areas that we cannot explore due to our technological limitations. From Earth, our telescopes cannot see beyond 46 billion light-years in any direction. It's essential to remember that 1 light-year equals 9 trillion and 460 billion kilometers. Hence, the observable universe we can observe is actually the smallest part. The actual answer to how many stars are created every second may remain elusive for years to come, because our telescopes lack the technology to see beyond the explained limit. 15 million tons of rainwater is the amount that falls on Earth every second. This is what I mentioned at the beginning of this video. You might be thinking, but it doesn't always rain in my area. When I say on Earth, it means that even if it's not raining in your area, it could be raining elsewhere on the planet. That's the quantity of water I referred to, which falls on Earth every second. However, this raises questions. Who measures this rainfall and how? Well, both on Earth and in space, it's possible to measure rainfall. Let's focus on Earth, which everyone is familiar with. Rain gauges are used. They're like cups with funnels that collect water, which is then transferred to a measuring cylinder. Here's the issue. Sometimes the water is measured when the cup is full, but occasionally it rains lightly, filling only half the cup. By the time it rains again, the first half of the water in the rain gauge may have evaporated, leading to inaccurate calculations. Additionally, sometimes it rains heavily with wind and storms, causing water droplets to not enter the funnel. Lastly, in places where the temperature is below 0 degrees Celsius, the water in the funnel may freeze, preventing new water from entering. All of this shows that we cannot ascertain the actual amount of water that falls here on Earth. Statistics are merely estimations. So as an individual, you must apply critical thinking and stay updated through YouTube channels like this one to understand what's happening on Earth and in your surroundings. This demonstrates that you shouldn't blindly believe everything you encounter in the media, because information that seems true today may be proven wrong tomorrow. Even the topics I discussed today may be considered facts now, but with the discovery of new information, they could become outdated. I'm just presenting you with things to contemplate, and whether you accept or reject them is entirely up to your understanding. However, one undeniable fact is that numerous events occur every second worldwide. Even here on YouTube, content equivalent to 1 hour is uploaded every second. So what can you do in a second? You can go ahead and comment. Let me also share one more fact. In just 1 second, you can like and subscribe to this channel. If I can do it, so can you. Until next time, Rick Fact.